And welcome everybody to part 27 of the Pokemon Gold walkthrough, where we're going to be taking on the Ice Gym leader Price in a absolutely nothing but Ice type gym. And I say that because of the fact that in Generation 2, I know that they I'd like to say upgraded it in the newer versions of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but in the second generation, this whole entire gym consists of obviously Ice type Pokemon because it's the Ice type gym, and Ice type moves. But one of the things is that other Ice types you go against, Cloyster, Dugong, half water types, don't even have any water type moves, which was always kind of a bit perplexing to me. And even going against like Sweenub and Piloswine being an ice ground type, not even having any ground type moves, it was very kind of, I guess you could say, perplexing of the fact as to why they didn't have water type or ground type moves to counteract my forceful Quilava and his fire type. And it's, you know, Price doesn't have any water type moves or ground type moves. None of the trainers have any water type moves. It's very perplexing as to why not, you know. I mean, obviously they really want the emphasis to go into this being an ice gym. I get that and all, but at the same time, you can't really throw in a water move to make it a little bit more complex. And to my knowledge, this was, I believe, upgraded in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where some water type moves were thrown in it. To my knowledge, I could be completely wrong, and looking into it at the moment, I see some ground type moves when going against the gym leader Price the first time, but other than that, Seal and Dugong still only have ice type moves. That's about it. Why? Well, I mean, I get it, you know, it's supposed to be an ice type gym. You're supposed to emphasis on the ice part of it. I get it. Me being an ice type favorite, you know, ice type loving Pokemon myself, I get using ice type moves, but you still gotta balance it out a bit. I mean, for God's sakes, I have Lapras with me right now, and even if I'm gonna give him some ice type moves, I'm still gonna give him Surf, because if I go against a fire type that has, you know, a small advantage on me, I can still kick his ass using water types. But no, these guys only use ice type moves, and it just it doesn't work. Alright, it's not exactly the best way. It's obviously not the best way to go about, you know, training your Pokemon. You want to give it more well-rounded moves, you know, especially if it's a dual type, because then you still get the, you know, the stat increase for it whenever you use the water type or the ice type, and blah blah blah. I'm just continue going on. The specialty of this gym is the ice-like floor. You step on it and you just go straight. Obviously from, you know, I can't remember if that was done. I think it was done in Generation 1. I can't be too sure. But even Zelda games, any kind of game that, you know, a top-down style game where you step on a slippery floor, you're just going to go in one direction and that's it. You know, a little bit interest, you know, not extremely interesting, because, I mean, it's a really easy puzzle to solve. Later on we go into a cave, a little bit harder of a puzzle, but nothing too difficult. It just takes a while to go through and, you know, get used to it. But obviously, you know, the puzzles here, they're not really that hard. They aren't complex to go against. Face off about, I think it's 5 trainers before going against the gym leader, so you get yourself a good amount of experience before going against him. Nothing too difficult to take out, especially because, once again, that they don't really ever use water type moves. I just don't know why. And whether or not the trainers have any or not, I think they don't, because unless, you know, the computer is stupid enough not to use a water type move, like right here going against a Seal. This guy has like 2 Seals and a Dugong, and it just never uses it, so it's like, okay, whatever. Boy, gym battles kind of suck, or at least the build up to them, simply because of the fact that there is very little to go into about it. Obviously, I was able to take the choice of whether I wanted to go to the gym leader or the radio tower. But the funny thing, and I never knew this, is that once you're done beating the gym leader, once you head out, you get a call from Professor Elm about the radio tower. So I guess that means that you do have to do the gym before the radio towers. I don't know. I don't really recall, because of the fact that I've always gone against the gym leader first. But I don't know if there's a way to go to the radio broadcast tower first before taking on the gym. That's just a big mystery to me, because I've just never tested it out. Now, the biggest thing with Quilava in this is because since we're going against some water type only and some water ice types, and because of that, whenever you try, obviously when you try and use fire moves, it just does normal damage because of the fact that it's also part water. And I kind of slip up here a little bit. I don't know why. I kind of just... I don't know why I struggled at first, then I finally was like, oh, okay, here's how you do it. But, because of that, it only counts for one time the damage instead of double time the damage. So because of that, the best way to go about this was using the rollout, Quilava's rollout, and thankfully, during the test play, missed it a couple times. This one, none, other than this one time that you're going to see, because going against Shelder and then going up against a Cloyster, and Cloyster has the move Protect. He uses Protect so it misses, but that's an obvious. But other than that, and oh my god, the second Shelder gave me the hardest time out of every other Pokemon in this, simply because the Supersonic Quilava just kept slapping itself in the face, which, you know, constantly bringing it up. How can one be so confused that it hits itself? I don't know. It's a mystery. But but yeah, like I said, using rollout's the best way to go because of the fact that it obviously not only does it build up the damage the more you use it, but because water doesn't have a resistance to rock type moves. If it's both water ice, it's still going to do double the effect for the ice part of it too. So especially when going against Price, using rollout was in fact the best way to go. Now using Fire Spin works too, because it will still do just singular damage, but at the same time at the high level that Price has, which is around 27, 29, and 31, rollout's just the better way to go about it, because it's basically, it can be a one-hit kill in most cases once you hit it a certain amount of times, and since it uses a stronger Pokemon in the ladder, it's usually the best way to go. That's what makes rollout one of the better moves, is that it builds up against the weaker Pokemon that trainers and gym leaders use, and it gets stronger for the final forms of them, so that it does the max damage towards the tougher Pokemon. But again, it has the risk of only being, I know I said 70% accuracy, but I really think it's 90% accuracy. I keep getting them mixed up, but if it is, either way, there's still that chance of it missing, and freaking Quilava is just kicking the shit out of himself. Whatever. Anyways, I'm actually going to take a look at something. Oh, here's something I definitely want to bring up, even though we're getting kind of running out of time a little bit. Generation 6, which will be coming out in October still, I believe. There was a new Pokemon that was released, not recently, it was a while ago when they released it, but I never brought it up, and I don't know why. I already made a video talking about what I thought about the idea of the game in the first place, what I thought about the Pokemon so far. And there was another one that was brought out a couple months back, Sylveon. Yet another evolution of Eevee that right now is just an unknown type, which, from what I understand, what people are talking about when they bring it up is, I guess that they think that there's going to be a new type introduced in Gen 6, and that this Sylveon, whatever, however the hell you pronounce it, is going to be the first look into that new type, which, looking at its design, for one thing, I look at its design and think, it doesn't look all that impressive. Can't really say some of the later ones, like Glaceon and Leafeon, never really looked all that impressive to me. Even though I'm an Ice-type fan, Glaceon, again, just never really stood out. But this new one, I mean, it just looks so, it doesn't look intimidating in any sort of way. So whatever new type it's going to be, I don't really see what it can add into it. And even if they do it and bring in a new type, the big question then is, what is that new type going to be? Obviously, you know, I mean, what other types can we bring in? Are we going to bring in a light type? You know, because we have the dark type, and I guess some people see the psychic as the light type, but, you know, maybe they'll suddenly bring in, oh, they're going to be light type Pokemon as well, which could change a bit as to some Pokemon's, you know, physicality of what they are. You know, we may change Magnemite to, instead of like a Thunder Steel, a Light Steel. That's stupid, but you get the point of what I'm trying to say here. We might see some older variations change, like Magnemite. I've used Magnemite because in Gen 1 he was only Thunder type, then he turned into a Thunder type Steel. So I mean, we'll see, but I just think the design of, you know, this Sylveon doesn't look good, and I just don't know. I don't know what other types they can possibly make up. But anyways, that is the end of the video, obviously, and up next will be the broadcast tower, as you can tell with Professor M calling him. Something is a must, something is a muck. We got a muck, haha, and Team Rockets seems to be behind it, so now we're going to go and take them on, so we'll see you then.